Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Welcome back. So I am stupid excited about today's video. We got the Impulse 32 here, okay, from Proboat, and this new TFL remote controlled stinger. Okay, this stinger should allow us to adjust the trim on the fly. Okay, so we're going to actually install this in the Proboat Impulse 32. Okay, I think we'll get the most action using this boat. I was planning on putting it in my Delta Force 35, but I have a lot of stuff to move around in that boat to make this work. Okay, but I think this boat will be the best donor because the stinger barrel is actually a little bit longer than the Impulse stinger. It's actually a little shorter than the TFL adjustable stinger on my 35, so we're putting it on here. Okay, so what you're going to need, you're going to need a 1/14th scale servo. Okay, it's got to be, I'll give you measurements in a minute. 1/14th scale. I'll also give you specs here in a second. That's the only one I could find to fit. So I think it's going to work. It's metal gear. This stinger actually has a cam. See that cam right there? We'll go over that later as well. But that cam is going to reduce a lot of the load being put on the servo. So I think it's going to be perfect. You'll need the stinger. Okay, it's a special stinger with a built-in servo mount. You'll need some type of through-hole to waterproof the linkage rod. So we're going to be using this bellow with like a brass tube. It's a custom through hole. You can make yours however you want. And on this particular boat here, you'll need a new flex cable. If you're replacing the TFL adjustable stinger with this stinger, you should be able to use the existing flex. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about with a direct fit with the TFL adjuster. So this is my Delta Force 35, what I was originally going to put the remote controlled stinger in. So I just took all of this apart. I wanted to make sure that this stinger bolts right up to the adjustable stinger mounting pattern. It does. It does, okay? It's just a little bit shorter, which would have been fine. See how it's a little shorter, and we could have used the stock cable. It bolts right up. Boom. If you have this stinger on a boat and you have the room inside, it'll bolt right up. Unfortunately, this water exit right here was in my way. Okay, I built this boat 5 or 6 years ago, and this is just how I set it up. So the servo rod right here was running into this water hose, so it just won't work on this boat. Here's your part number from Offshore Electrics. I'll have a link in the description, which is affiliate. It'll take you to the stinger, the bellow, the connector that I'm using, the flex cable that I used, brass tubes that I used for my through hull. The stinger actually comes with an exploded view. You have part numbers listed, the orientation it's put together so you can see how it works. Has the specs for the servo, 31 by 16 length and width, and then how it's put together. Okay, it was the only servo I could find to fit in this adjustable stinger servo mount. So it's a 22 gram servo. It's an upgrade servo for a 1/14th scale hyper, whatever that is, RC car, I'm sure. So 22 gram metal gear. So only time will tell how long or how well it will work, but I think it'll be strong enough to hold our position, especially with this cam. Okay, so I'm about to take this off, like I mentioned a while ago. Stock stinger off, and I have the servo mount off of the stinger itself. So just gonna kind of set it in here. I'm gonna put my flex cable in. Actually, we'll put the new one in. Actually, let's put the old one in. That'll kind of center it up on the stuffing tube there, so you can make sure this is going to actually fit on this boat, and it looks like it is. It's going to look really good back here too, to be honest with you. I need to fill all 4 of these mounting holes. Okay, this is definitely going to fit our application. Oh, it's going to be so freaking awesome, boys. Some boats are going to need attention back here, so I'm using my grinder to grind out this glob of adhesive so I can get this servo mount right here to sit flat. Cleaned up that adhesive. On the outside, I'm using this deburring tool for like brass tubes, and I'm using this to chamfer around the holes that I need to fill. Okay, kind of making like a cone on the inside and on the outside, you know, like a cone shape, so that our epoxy has something to sit in. Just gonna get our epoxy loaded up on our stick, and then we're just gonna drip it in one of the holes. Okay, like so. We don't want a whole lot of cleanup and sanding to do because it's a tight area, right? So we just want the damn epoxy in the hole. That's it. Okay, so I'm using this poker. I don't want to poke through my damn tape, right? Don't poke through the tape. Just get any air bubbles out. All right. Boom. I'm gonna repeat that 3 more times. All right. So it's been about 4 hours or so. We're gonna peel this tape off, and we got a perfectly filled through hole there. As you can see, I did have some of the epoxy bleed into the chipped paint. Basically what I'm doing is putting my flex cable in, okay, and what we want to do is make sure we get this stinger mounted perfectly vertical. Okay, so that flex cable is basically gonna keep our stinger kind of centered on the stuffing tube. That's pretty important, you know. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this marked. Pretty easy, right? Okay, so I got my stinger mounted up. Okay, I actually have the servo and the bracket mounted in the boat. It looks like it's gonna work with the stock stuffing tube. Okay, it's actually sitting flat on the transom. The servo is actually kind of sitting, resting on the stuffing tube there. I don't think that's going to be an issue, but it's sitting flat with all 4 of these bolts tightened up. Okay, I got proper alignment here on the stuffing tube to stinger placement. Okay, I am running into some binding, so I'm going to need to take this off. So right here it starts to bind. So when the stinger goes up, so I'm gonna take some of the length off the stuffing tube. It'll be closer to the transom, and I'm also gonna take some sandpaper and reduce the diameter of the stuffing tube. I'm almost considering, just so I have plenty of like movement, I'm almost considering going 1/4 inch stuffing tube opposed to the 9/32 with the Teflon liner. Okay, the 1/4 inch will give you more room for movement. Okay, I'm seriously considering it. Also, with the smaller diameter stuffing tube, I think we'll have a little bit more room here with this servo. But before I do that, I want to see if I can get it to work with a stock stuffing tube. That way you guys will know if you do this mod what you need, right? So yeah, it's binding about right here. All right, boys, so we actually have on the stinger, we actually have 8 millimeters, well 8.1 inside diameter. Our stuffing tube is 8 millimeters as well, 7.9. So not a whole lot of so either you're going to need a 1/4 inch stuffing tube so that the stuffing tube will go inside the barrel with no friction or rubbing, or you're going to have to cut the stock stuffing tube short. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking. So I'm going to take my file here. We're going to need to blow this drive line out because we'll get file shavings in it. So we're going to file this. I filed a little bit off my stuffing tube. I'm going to take this stone right here, try not to hit my boat, but I'm going to chamfer around the edge a little bit. Okay, so taking out the diameter freed up the stinger quite a bit. Okay, so that looks good. Let me check alignment. Should be good. I didn't change anything else. Yeah, that's good. So I'm sitting here looking at the angle. Remember we made that mark that this steering rod is going to be going to the servo. So I kind of got the rod angled to the servo here, and it looks like my marks matched up. So we need to figure out where we're going to drill that hole. See this mark right here? So I kind of put this flush on this overhang. Okay, and I marked my arm. The angle is going to go through the hull. So when I put my stinger back on here again, I'll have a reference up here to go by. So I kind of have two little holes right here, or dots. There are two dots that I marked where I thought my through hole is going to be, and then I'll take all this apart, put it back on the boat according to the angle. See this angle we have? So this is going to be setting flush on the boat, so we have an up angle, right? So you can't drill your through hole on the low side, it has to be on the high side, right? Because you have an up angle, and then it's actually got an angle like this to the horn, which you could actually, let me loosen this up. You can actually move the horn for center out like this. You can keep it where it was. You can move it out a little ways, and that will actually straighten up the angle. But if you have it like this, see that it's going to swing side to side. Okay, and if we have it right here, it's going to swing more forward to back rather than side to side. See the angle of the arm, it don't really change, not as much as it did when we had the arm here. So I'm thinking we'll just keep it straight with the frame of the servo. Okay, this boat here is going to make it nice because we'll actually have better access to the servo because it don't have a whole lot of overhang on the inside. So it's going to make tuning the servo much easier. Yeah. So the rod looks like it's okay. So we need to go over. Alright, I need to go over with my mark. Height looks good. Side to side, not so much. So I'm gonna put my marker right here. Okay, that looks good. So I just got back from the shop. I went out there and made me a long bit on my welder. I just welded up a drill bit on the rod, so hopefully I can hit this. Yeah, it's gonna make it easier, right? I'm gonna drill at an angle side to side and then an up angle. So I'm gonna get on my mark. This bit's small, so we'll be filing. So over and up. Oh, it just wandered. Okay, so I just got the hole drilled. So as you can see, I need to wire it out to the left because we're bottoming out. We're bottoming out right now, so I can't get full like forward throw on this ball because it's hitting the through hole there. So let's get that worked out. So this is the original through hole made. It's 1/4 inch. This is 8mm. So I went up a little bit larger, so we didn't have any type of binding on this arm right here. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and put this in there, and we'll just kind of dry fit everything again and see how it works out. Okay, so this is gonna be the last little test before we finalize and put everything together permanently. Okay, so I got my through hole fitted. I went out to the shop and grinded an angle on that through hole because it's actually set in there at an up angle and an angle to the port side. Also, you can see how I have it offset to the port side. So to be honest with you, it could probably go over a little more to the port side, especially if you're running your linkage farther out from center. Okay, so when I had this off a while ago, I went ahead and filled this little void where the paint chipped off, and I painted it, touched it up for our final fit. I need to epoxy that through hole in, but it looks like everything's working perfectly. Okay, so I got my through hole and my bellow ready. Okay. Boom. Looks like I need to clean the inside of it up. I got some epoxy in there, so I'll get that done. I want it to be flush, and then I'll just take some paint to touch up around the outside of that through hole. As you can see, I've touched up this. I filled it just lightly. Final assembly. Okay, you guys see where I have Loctite at? I put Loctite on this grub screw here. Okay, and I put Loctite on this grub screw right here. This has got a tapped hole, so I'm thinking this grub screw right here holds this barrel in place. So I didn't put any Loctite on that, but we might need to consider putting some on there. So, oh, okay, so it's actually Loctited. So there's a grub screw in here that holds this barrel on. This grub screw right here is for this pin, and it's got Loctite. Alright, those aren't grub screws, and then we'll put Loctite on this once we get it set up and tuned on the boat. So I'm putting some silicone on mine for waterproofing. You can use whatever you want to for waterproofing. So we're going to go ahead and get this in. I'm using the same hardware that came off the stock Stinger. Stock hardware. The included screws, they're barely long enough to grab onto the servo mount inside the boat. So I wouldn't really use those. I mean, they will work, right? They will work, but they're kind of short. Put a little bit of Loctite on these. Got to slide this in mine's still curing, so I've got to be careful not to move my THRU-HULL. Slide that in when you slide your stinger on, okay? And then when you put the servo on, just to make things easy for you, go ahead and slide the rod in your servo. So I'm using a really small connector here, and I actually drilled it out slightly to accommodate this wire, this rod. Okay, and I'm going to start off with my servo set up like this. That's centered right there. I'm going to put some sealant on the inside of this. Okay, put some on the stinger and on the nut plate, just so I know I won't get any water intrusion. Loctite probably won't grab on these threads now that I put silicone on it, but it'll be alright. So go ahead and get your rods back in the servo horn there, in the connector. Get it lined up, and hopefully you can drive these home without any hiccups. So what I like to do, or I've been doing, is trying to get all 4 of them at least started. Okay, get all 4 of them started, and then you can kind of lock them down. Okay, don't lock them off. Don't lock one down and then try to get them in the nut plate. You know, get them started, and then kind of work your way around like you would putting a car wheel on, you know, with lug nuts. Do one side, then jump over to the other side, crank it down a little bit, then jump to the other side, and just keep going around it that way. Alright, so it's the next day. Everything turned out pretty good. It really did. My THRU-HULL is all cured out. Okay, you guys can see the angle I put in it. On the inside we have the bellow on. It's all sealed up. You can see the servo's no longer touching the stuffing tube. So now we're going to go ahead and turn the boat on. I got some 6S packs in here. We're going to hook up our radio controlled stinger servo on the 3rd channel. Okay, 3rd channel here. We're running an SR315 receiver. You'll need a 3-channel receiver, steering, throttle, and the stinger servo. Okay, so up until now I've been using the 1st channel, the steering servo channel, to control it. So now we actually need to assign an auxiliary button and figure out what setting. So I'm thinking this right here may be the most convenient for me. This is a 2-way, or I guess, yeah, 2-way toggle. Okay, we can go up and we can go down. I guess we could use this one. This is like a 3-way switch. Well, I guess we could use it for whatever we wanted to. This may be the best option. So that's F. Yeah, that's a button there. And these are just going to be kind of hard to get to on the fly. So I think this one may be best. Yeah, let's do that. F. So we're going to go into our auxiliary, assign. Okay, each transmitter is different. This is an old DX5 rugged, so we're going to go auxiliary. Let's see, I guess it's 1, auxiliary 1. We're going to assign it, and we're going to go down and pick out which switch we're going to use. Okay, so we're going to actually auxiliary 1 input will be F. It's hard to see this transmitter. F. Okay, we're going to assign that. So it's at 3 position now. Let's switch that to, I want to say linear. Linear, yeah. Actually tune the step size so it's a linear, so when you go up it'll you know, click 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 click, and your stinger will go up or down. You can actually pick out how much it will go up or down, so we can actually go up to 20. We'll do that initially just while we're on the bench so we can actually see our movements. Yeah, so you can see the servo moving now. Okay, so okay, that's 20 step. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's gonna be so good. Oh, I got you guys zoomed in. All right, so let's get it zeroed out. You hear it? That's 0. And we can tell it's 0 by the way it's sitting on the servo there. That's where I'm running my 0. You can do yours wherever you want. So now we need to figure out or get our initial tune on the stinger. When I say initial tune, that's the tune we're going to use, like our bass tune. Okay, and then we'll be able to trim it. I want to try to get my bass tune neutral on the up and down throw so it's centered, and then we'll actually have up and down the exact amount on top, positive and negative. So let's put it on the glass here. Okay, I got my cable cut to size. Okay, I got the small, you're gonna need a small drive dog, that tapered drive dog that I was running on the boat previous. It won't work because the taper on this barrel. Okay, so a small. So we're at neutral position. Let's take this. Oh, I'm just gonna put my boat on the glass like so. Kind of hold it flat, and we'll see where it's at. We're gonna get it to 0. So we're at. Yeah, we need to go up with this barrel. So in order to do that, you guys remember, or did I tell you? I told you, but I might not have included it. So the way you adjust this stinger, okay, you can't just like tighten or loosen a screw and the barrel's going to go up and down. So you adjust this stinger with this cam right here. Okay, so as far as I know, this is the only way to adjust it. Okay, so you loosen up this set screw right here. Probably need to get a new one because I about wore this one out, and I will get a new one. So you loosen this up. That will loosen this lever arm up on the cam right here. So we needed to go up. So in order to go up, this pin right here needs to go that way. Alright, so I've been tinkering with it here. Let's see where it's at in its neutral position now. So we're at 0.45. We're getting there. So what I'm doing is I'm loosening it up, and then I'm going forward with the lever arm, and that's picking. It's moving that cam around, and in return moving our barrel. So I'll go back down. We should be We should be about there. Yep, alright, so we're perfectly zeroed out here. I've been working on this thing for about 4 days now. It took me basically 2 days to install, fill the holes, install the stinger, the servo, okay? And I've been kind of messing around getting this dialed in for the past 2 days. I've actually enjoyed it, you know? So it's not an easy project to do. It was fun. I'm having a good time with it, okay? And I got this stinger. It's kind of, to me, it's like bells and whistles. You know, it's not really a performance upgrade. I mean, it is, but it's like bells and whistles, something to play with, okay? So, you know, we will actually kind of mess around with it while we're running the boat, but that's not why I installed it. You know, like when we're running the boat, you know, we can give it some down trim while we're in a straight line, but it's really going to be hard to do. I mean, concentrating, watching the boat while you're messing with the trim, it's just going to be tough. The main reason I got this is to be able to pull the boat out the water. Like, I'll run the boat. If I need to do a stinger adjustment, I can pull the boat out the water and simply do it with my transmitter, you know, rather than having to loosen up a nut, bolt, do my adjustment, tighten it up. I can do it with my transmitter. That's the main reason I got this, okay? Some guys are going to want to actually mix. You can mix this auxiliary channel with the steering channel, okay, in a straight line. The stinger will be like in a neutral position, right, in a straight line. And then when you start your turn, you can mix this channel with your steering, so when you start your turn, your stinger will go negative slightly so that you get a little more boat in the water for the turn, and then coming out the turn, it'll go neutral again. I was thinking some guys could actually use a gyro, like on a twin. If you had one of these on each side of a twin catamaran, okay, you could put a gyro up front, like an airplane style gyro. When the front end starts to lift, you can mix the remote controlled stinger into the gyro, so when the front end starts to lift, it will actually go negative. Put it on like almost like a toggle, like you have a predetermined angle, or just mix it in with a linear. The more the boat lifts in the front, the more down angle gets put on the drive, right? So there's lots of different ways to use it, you know. I don't think it's going to be like it's, you know, this boat's fast and it's real touchy to stinger adjustment. So like messing with the stinger position while you're running the boat, it's just going to be tough. I mean, that's not what I got it for. We will probably try to do it just because, right? But it's not exactly why I got it. I got it just to have easy tuning while it's on the bench or on the fly on the bench in the field, you know. Oh, so with that said, I got this about where I need to get it, and it's almost there. So I figured I would turn it on and finish it up with you guys. So basically, I'm going to my highest position, okay? I got the level box zeroed out. Our highest positive position is basically 0.80. So basically 3/4 of a degree positive. We would never use that much, especially on this boat. So we'll go down to its neutral position here. And I pretty much got it to go 0, 0, like, you know, neutral. It's neutral on my transmitter, neutral on the boat, right? So we're going to go down to its lowest negative position, and we got basically 1 3/4. So 1.75 degree negative angle, okay? And we'll go back up, and I've been trying to get it to go back up to a neutral angle, and that's our neutral angle right there. So it's actually pretty tight. It gives me an accurate neutral. So I can go neutral, negative. I can go positive, come back down from neutral, and it will give me a neutral stinger position every time. All right. So I think it's an awesome piece of hardware, you know. And there's really lots of different uses for this. I'm going to go the simplistic way and just tune my boat with the transmitter, you know. Auxiliary steps, so I have a choice from 1 to 20, okay. And I found around 15 where I have my servo linkage set at, and just the way I have my boat set up. 15 is about 5/100ths of a degree increment, okay. So yeah, you see that? You see that? If I can get this to stay right, it should go up to 75. Should go up to 80. Yeah, so it's about 5/100th of a degree increment. So I'm gonna go down. Okay, you guys see that? So you can test your steps, and it will adjust how much this thing moves at a time. I tried, so on my step on my transmitter at 5, it would move the stinger 1/100th of a degree. So I would have to push the button 5 times to move it 5/100ths of a degree, right? So oh, it just cut off. It just died. Anyway, so you guys kind of see what I'm talking about. The step. Oh, auxiliary assign, and then step size at 15. So there's lots of cool things you can do with this stinger. What I named earlier, it's just a few things, you know. You can be as creative or as basic with it as you want to. We're going to be basic. I mean, we're going to play around with it. This boat here, like I said, it's very sensitive to stinger adjustment, so I don't know how much we'll be doing on the fly stuff, but we'll definitely play around with it, especially our first few outings while we're kind of getting a feel for it. So the stinger is super smooth. Sounds really good. Yeah, I think it's a great upgrade. I do. Not just for this boat, pretty much any boat it'll fit on. It'll be fun to install and tinker with, you know. I think it's well worth the time involved, and I mean it's tight, you know. It's tight. There's no play in it, no play at all, you know. The linkage is tight. Just the hardest part about it was getting the initial barrel set for our initial tune and getting it zeroed out, paired up to the transmitter so that it was 0, and then you get even step up, even step down. That was the toughest part, you know, but I think anybody can pretty much do it if you got the time. Like I said, I've been working on it for a few days now, so sorry about the long video, but I figured it would be worth it to include all the information I did, so that whoever's installing this on their boat, they'll be well informed, and you can make your judgment on if you want to do it to your boat or not. Seems how I basically included the whole process. So we'll see you guys next time. hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you guys like to see stuff like this, and we will be running it hopefully in the next video. If not, it will be the following video. So, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.